Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and it's your instant reaction to tonight's friendly versus West Ham. It is just finished. It is finished 2-1 to the Hammers. This show may never see the light of day, in all honesty. So if you're watching it live, savor it, because I might just bury it, private it, delete it. I don't know, because we're doing something we've not often done on this platform, which is I haven't been at the game, as you can clearly see, and the person joining me hasn't been at the game either.
I had a little whisper today it was going to be streamed. So there I was, ready at 6:45, 6:50 at the end of Finland versus Denmark, 5-7, and then some cooking program come on, and there was no streaming. I was following on Twitter, so we've had a few people obviously at the game, and we
have. We're hoping will join us. Hopefully, we'll have a few people join us.
And Lee Anderson has just messaged me saying we are light years ahead of where we were this time last.
Get him on the show. Season. Get him the link. Tell him to come on tonight's show. So, yeah, if you're watching it live, savor it because, as I say, if it's just me and him for 10 minutes, I might just.
Yeah, we can have a chat. You know what went on in the game.
It's finished 2-1. It's finished 2-1. As Adam says, who, by the way, has lost his green name. That makes me sad. Adam, come home. Losing to a Premier League team, unacceptable. Now,
and
that's
there was a pitch invader as well on.
There was.
Was it the Fisherman, though? Because it looks remarkably like Mike Brown in a black tracksuit.
Well, I'd like to know why we've got a pitch invader in a pre-season friendly.
Well, there you go. You've gone early. You've had, obviously, too much sun or too much. I've heard there's San Miguel on tap at Portman Road. Well done, Mark Ashton.
He's done a rich, isn't he? He's gone early, as they say. You're famous for going early. Let's be honest with it. So I might use that throughout the season. He's done a rich, isn't he? Done a rich. So yeah, let's start with the team, I guess.
Good. Hang on. Well, what? Exactly. That's where we need to go first. What a great debut from the dugout. You know, it's going to get us 20 goals this season. It's going to look great in all weathers. Seats look good, don't they?
They do. Obviously, they're a bit further into the stand. Obviously, there's a bit more space for McKenna to do his arm waving if he ever wants to do that next year. Hopefully, not many cause to do so.
I think if they'd have been there when Paul Lambert had been in charge, he'd have had loads of room. Remember when he came in, like Matt says, he was up and down that line, wasn't he?
Plenty of room.
Then it all went.
Plenty. I think we've had better debuts. I think we've had better players sign, but you know, new debut, new dugouts debut. That made me laugh when I saw that headline. Carl Brooks says 3-4-3 was the formation tonight. The team was. Let me come to what the team lineup was, because some on social media were calling this our strongest lineup. I don't know if you would agree with that. Let me find the.
Yeah, I did see a few people saying that. I think there was about 3 changes from the Charlton game, the last game of the season, Martin.
Yeah, so here we go. We had nothing. It's not working. There we go. Walton, Donatian, Wolfenden, Burgess, Burns, Ball, Morsey, Penny, Aluko, Chaplin, and Ladapo. I mean, we're old enough to remember, Crunch, when you played a curtain raiser of a pre-season with your strongest lineup the week before the season, and people knew, that's what he's thinking. Is this an insight into Kieran McKenna's thinking? Is this...
Mike Baker. Kane Vincent Young got the goal.
He did. KV1. We know that much. Good work down the left flank, I read.
Yeah, left flank. Hopefully that's a sign of things to come for this season, maybe.
So is that our strongest? Is that an insight into his thinking? Because Mike D says Fridge has to be in our strongest 11.
Well, he did get some minutes. Now, Lewis said Wes Burns looks a little bit behind the others, which is understandable at the minute because I think he come back a week and a half later than the others, didn't he, Mark? Because obviously he's been playing for Wales.
Yes, he has, yeah.
The 3 tonight, the 3 who, for me, was interesting tonight, it was Fridge, John Jules and Caden Jackson, because they've played no football so far. I know this is only our second friendly, but they didn't take part in Needham. So they've got some minutes. Look, Donatian, Wolfenden absolutely nailed on, but Louis Fenton, I've got a bone to pick with you. Last night, trying to tell people that Janoa Donatian is worth 3 million. What are you drinking, my friend?
Oh, no, back him up. I'll back him up. Why not?
500 grand topped. 500 topped for JD.
Modern football with inflation. I'll come back to Stephen's comment about 8 first teams. I want to know what the 8 he thinks or you think they are. Joshua's happy with that. 2 against Premier League opposition, not bad at all. Wasn't between the two teams. Unlucky for Ladapo hitting the post. The nearly man. That's what I hope he's not next year, because needing he was nearly, but he did get a couple of goals in the end tonight.
You'd think there, wouldn't you? Fridge in for Burgess.
Well, hold that thought, because I've got in his car waiting to go home, but joining us, having seen tonight's game, Lewis Rapstar Robertson in the new kit. Lewis, that looks fresh, man.
Is this a new name? New Rapstar? Is that because he's in his internet? Hopefully it don't play up tonight, Lewis.
It might be probably better.
Lewis,
no,
it's good. Really good. Yeah, really good. And just nice to get down for a game of football. Decent atmosphere. Well worth the 12 quid. I was quite happy. I'm normally really, really anti-friendlies, not bothered at all. But yeah, it was all right. And I've been listening. I heard Lee Anderson's comments. I don't know if I'd go quite as far as that, but we looked all right. We, decent passages of play. I certainly think we look fitter than we did for most of the last season. And ultimately, with the quality we've got, if we can get the fitness levels above or even on a par with most of the League One sides, we should be taking the game to them. Thought West Ham were pretty decent. They had a strong core. I know people will talk about the younger players, but the core of the team was still Zuma, Downs, obviously, Fornells, Antonio. So they still had a really good spine. It was a good night out for 12 quid.
More importantly, what we need to ask Lewis is, how did Matt Penny play?
He was all right.
Hesitation. That's not good. All right. Okay. We'll ask you a separate question, Lewis. Who stood out for you? Who in the blue and white really sort of impressed you tonight?
I was quite impressed with Ball. I think him and Morsey, like I've just said, West Ham had a strong spine. I thought him and Morsey stood up to that, and they should be bossing midfields in League One. But the standout performer for me was Wolfie. Barely got out of second gear, was up against Antonio. He was class. He put Antonio on his backside at one point in the first half. A bit of a dummy, went to play it. Antonio fell over, got a bit of a cheer. He went on a bit of a mazy run as well in the first half, towards the end of the first half. Got to the edge of the box. I think it might have even been Flynn Downs put a foot in and won the ball back. But yeah, for me, we've seen the progression of Downs in the last year. He went to the Championship, had a good season. He's got a big move to the Premier League. Wolfie signed the contract earlier on in the summer. Whilst it counts for nothing, every player's got their price. If he has a great season, we have a great season, and we get up into the Championship, I can see teams lower echelons of the Premier League looking at him, because I just thought tonight he was absolute class. Second half, we made a lot of changes. Good points and bad points. I text Rich in the second half and said, and Darbo's looked a bit suspect. But then on reflection, he put in a couple of really good challenges. Antonio got one-on-one, and somehow he managed to get back. Walton stood up well, but Ndaba got a foot in, put it out for the corner, and he made another really strong challenge as well. And for the goal for KVY, great build-up down the left between Tyrese, John Jules, and your player of the year from last year, Raheem Harper, chipped in a decent ball. And
he's gone.
He's gone. We've lost him.
We are going to kind of take the games teams. But yeah, KVY cut in from the right back post, decent header down into the bottom corner.
What did Fridge look like, Lewis? Because obviously he's not played for quite a long while, and that's his first minutes he's had.
Yeah, I think Fridge and Burns as well. Burns obviously had an extended break. I think it was just good to get minutes into them. They didn't do anything wrong. I wouldn't have said Burns was quite his normal dynamic self. Him and Cresswell had a decent duel, but that was probably more Burns getting back to kind of help out Donatian. Donatian was solid as well. But it wasn't the flying Wes Burns that we would normally see. And in terms of Fridge, yeah, it was pretty solid. Didn't put a foot wrong. But like I say, he was fairly assured. And I think the most important thing, we obviously I don't know if you chaps know if there's anything behind Kyle Edwards not playing, whether it's an injury or.
I just think Stu Watson said he was injured. He didn't say what it was. But I think this is a stage of the season, though, guys. If anyone's got a little niggle,
you protect him. Yeah.
He's only just coming back as well. He's another one who's had quite a long while out. So. But
and the way McKenna structured it, it was good to see players get an hour. And you probably would have said the players that got an hour, I think it was 8 of the starting 11. We took off Penny, we took off Burgess, and we took off Ball for Evans and Darber and Lee. And you'd kind of say those 3 out of the starting 11 are probably the 3 that might not be starting come end of July first game against Bolton. I was quite impressed with Greg Lee, so it pains me to say it, but I thought he was strong, he was dynamic, he looked to get forward. I think we've got a decent addition there in Greg Lee, and I know we're looking to strengthen with another left wing back, so it's good competition. But for all players to get either an hour, 45 minutes in some players' cases, or half an hour, it can only be a positive. And we're not going to play teams like West Ham every week. I know that they had youngsters, but even players like Connor Coventry, he was at MK Dons last season. I think he's a really good young player, and I don't think we need him. But if we had signed him instead of Ball, I would have been quite happy with that. So I don't think we should read too much into the result. It was just a good workout, and there are certainly, you can see that the week at Loughborough has been spent well.
Good man. Do you know who our number 14 was tonight? Any ideas on that one? Because Kevin Duncan asked, who's your number 14 tonight? Strong as an ox, but ran himself out in the first half. Was that Dominic Ball?
No, it was Sammy Morsey, actually. I don't know why he was wearing 14. I had to think then. It was weird because you'd think for a friendly, they just have the 1 to 11. But, like, for example, Jackson had 19, Burgess had 27 still. And then for some reason, Morsey had 14. I know he was 55 last year. Dominic Ball wore number 4, which was obviously Raheem Harper's number. John Jules wore number 9. Ladapo wore number 10. And look, with Ladapo, you can absolutely see he's going to try and break the lines. We've all speculated about what kind of player he is. And he was decent. He got in behind and brought other players in, but he absolutely should have scored first half. He had half the length of Portman Road to run one-on-one against the goalkeeper. One of those where he's not going to score because he's got too much time. And I think he just delayed it too long. And Fabianski's a decent goalkeeper. He came out, narrowed it down, and clipped his studs and clipped the post. But yeah, we came on strong again towards the end. I left with a couple of minutes to go so I could get back to speak to you chaps. But we came on strong. But I think we have to take into account West Ham, I think, made one sub, and that was in stoppage time. It flashed up on my phone. Stuart Watson tweeted it. So they only had 5 subs anyway because they had a team at Boreham Wood. But they had 5 subs. I think they only made 1 sub in injury time. So hell of a workout for them. And also as well, I think they had players like Lanzini, Diop, a couple of others.
There's some decent players there tonight. Yeah.
Well, what was Flynn like?
They were at Boreham Wood.
What sort of reception did Flynn get from the Portman Road faithful, Lewis?
Fairly muted. Cresswell got a better reception. I don't think it helped the fact that Downs cleaned out Aluko in the first couple of minutes and the referee waved play on. So that got the crowd going. But he wasn't booed every time he touched the ball. If anyone got stick, it was Zuma. And with both the goals, actually, Zuma got the first. Walton actually made really good saves, close range, point blank saves, and it just fell to the same player's feet, and he was able to knock it into an empty net. From Zuma's the first goal, he was unmarked, but we got caught out from a short corner. They had 2 players up against Chaplin. Ball tried to get across, it took a deflection, they worked it back in, and then Zuma was stood in the middle of the 6-yard box unmarked. headed it down. Walton made a great save, but it dropped to Zuma's feet. But yeah, in terms of Downs, he was industrious. It's Downs, you know what you're going to get.
Could you say Kurt Zuma lapped it up?
Right, we'll leave that one there, I think. Lewis, you're on tomorrow night, 8:30. I'll see you then. Bring more opinions. We love you. Thanks so much for stopping by.
Cheers, chaps. Look after yourselves.
Drive safely. We'll come to Leando in just a second. Lee, we'll be with you. I'm trying to keep you waiting. Colin, as Aluko was just mentioned, Downs wiping him out. How did Aluko play tonight? Your man, Sonny Aluko.
Oh, very, very, very good. Very, very good indeed. I'd give him 8 tonight, without no shadow of a doubt. I mean, he made Downs look absolutely an idiot twice. And your famous, the famous twirl, if you like, he did it twice on him, and he made him look stupid twice.
Don't worry. Don't worry.
Wait a minute, Richard. Wait a minute.
Hang on.
Wait a minute. He made him look an idiot twice.
Does Sonny Aluko be playing walking this season?
Wait a minute, Rich. I know he Rich. I know he plays in League One. Before you say it, and Flynn Downs now plays in the Premiership if he's lucky, right? Okay, you never know. He might break his leg next week, so he hasn't played in the Premier League yet. Good luck to the lad. But I'll tell you what, he got made to look a fool tonight twice by a very, very, very good player.
I did message Colin at half-time saying, Sonny Aluko, Colin, I know you wax lyrical about him. He will not get us promoted this season. We need better players than him. If he's playing more than 20, 25 games...
I'm not, Rich, I'm not going to sit on here. I know that's why you want me to come on and argue with you about Sonny Aluko. I know my football. I've seen some of the best midfield players in Europe play on that Portman Road pitch. And I'm telling you, Sonny Aluko is arguably one of the best keeping the ball players in League One, period. Right? There's not a better player at keeping the ball, keeping the game flowing than Sonny Aluko. When Sonny Aluko went off, Rich, it all went to pot twice, 3 times. We nearly conceded 3 times in 5-10 minutes after Sonny got a substituted. He's that good. He lost the ball once tonight and West Ham scored. I accept that. Once in 65 minutes. That is a quality player, Rich. Full stop. And I'll tell you something for nothing. I would not be surprised if Sonny Aluko starts against Bolton. I would not be surprised.
Well, at the minute, he's probably going to have to.
McKenna loves him, Rich. And for obvious reasons. You tell me why McKenna liked him. You answer the question.
Colin, let me have my say. I'm not saying Sonny Aluko's a bad player. He's an excellent footballer.
Oh, you have?
No, I haven't. Let me finish.
No.
Calm down, fellas. It's only a friendly.
I haven't. I didn't say he's a bad player. I'm just saying, at his age, he ain't playing Saturday, Tuesday every single week. You know.
Tell you what, Rich, he looks as fit as anybody on that pitch tonight. Don't tell me he didn't, Rich. He ain't got an ounce on him, Rich. Not an ounce. You can't tell me he's not fit, Rich. You can't tell me that.
I'm just saying his age counts against him. This is what I'm saying.
Moving away from Aluko.
So are you telling me, Rich? No, that's me and Rich here. Are you telling me Sonny Aluko? Because if you do, Rich, you're talking out the top of your head. Are you telling me that Sonny Aluko can't last 90 minutes? Yes or no?
Let's look at his stats last season.
Yes or no?
Hang on. Let me finish, Colin. Stop shouting at me. Let's see. Look at the stats. How many actual 90-minute performances he gave us last season? I would say it's probably less than 6 when he started. He don't complete 90 minutes. He'll give you a good 45. Right? He'll give you a good 45, 60 minutes tops. But Rich,
listen, I agree with you when you're right. But now Selena is not in the picture, and I think Gov will agree with this. Now Selena is not in the picture. Aluko is your main man in there. Creating. He is.
Chaplin, surely.
No, I'd have Chapman in. He's number 10. I want somebody here who doesn't lose a ball, Rich. I'll tell you what, if I'd have been a League One side tonight, we'd have scored 4 or 5 times. Because Aluko was so good at what he does.
I'll tell you what, we said all this last season. We said all this last season and we finished 11th. Let's not get ahead of ourselves after one friendly against West Ham.
Rich,
time out.
Rich, don't blame it. Rich, don't blame it all on bloody Sonny Aluko.
I'm not. People blame it all on Selena. If you look on social media, people blame it on Selena that we finished 11th.
No, Gov.
Yeah.
My friend Gov, don't choose Gov. I'm just trying to put a point across to Rich that bloke is technically. I'll tell you what, Rich, the next time we go across, right, and we talk to all the players, we'll ask every player, including Sam Morsey, who they think technically is the best player at that football club. And I'll tell you what, if you went and asked Kieran McKenna that, I know who he'd tell you. It'd be Sonny Aluko.
Yeah.
100%.
Not disagreeing, but if he can be technically all he wants, he has to give me goals and he has to give me assists, which he didn't last season.
Yeah, but Rich, how many times have I got to say to you, I agree with you? But you start agreeing with somebody else just for a change, Rich. We haven't even started the season, my old pal.
I'm not criticizing. Listen, he's part of the squad. If he's in that team against Bolton, first game of the season, we'll all be behind him, right?
Do you think, Rich, can I ask you a question, please, old son? After what you've seen tonight, are you telling me you would definitely, categorically, not start him against Bolton?
Well, it depends.
Please tell me yes or no.
It depends between now and then who we bring in. If we don't bring anyone else in, he'll start.
So do you think we're going to bring somebody in Sonny Aluko's position? I'm not so sure.
I can't answer that question. Kieran McKenna would answer that question. He's the only one who'd know that question.
Don't mind me, chaps. Just reading the paper.
Oh, sorry.
He's the only one who knows, Colin.
It's July the 12th, my boys. It's July the 12th. Calm it down. It's to settle. The heat's getting to the old high wiring. It's starting to frazzle.
We need more. Look, all joking aside, Colin, we need more attacking threat this season.
When I came out of the ground tonight, Rich, I'll tell you exactly what I said to Andrew and a couple of fans who were walking along. We need 2 more players. In my opinion, if we get 3, fine, but we need 2 for me. Did I think Lee, what's his name? Greg Lee. Do I think Greg Lee done okay? Yes, I do. Do I think he's the person that we actually need? Probably not. If Leeds want 2 million for that lad at Leeds, I'd sign him, and I would sign another forward. And I'll tell you what, if you get both those positions, I wouldn't worry about Sonny's position. If you get those 2 positions, the left wing back and the forward, I'll tell you what, we played some football tonight. Look, shout out to your man, Gov, Caden Jackson. I'll tell you, he came on, and I'll tell you what, he looked red hot tonight. Red hot. And I ain't said that for a long while.
No.
He looked like he's gained a yard of pace. Can you believe? I'll tell you what
I will say is I remember, right, it's pre-season. I think we all need to calm down. I remember, Colin, going to a pre-season game against Arsenal once, right? And Bobby Petter played.
Millions of them.
Bobby Petter played that day, and he absolutely pissed round Arsenal. They weren't tackling. Was there much tackling going on in that game tonight, or was it your normal standard pre-season friendly?
Well, I'll tell you what, Rich. You watched the game, obviously. I'll tell you what, and Andrew would back this up. I'll tell you what, there was 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 fierce tackles went in there, and 2 or 3 of them were from Sam Morsey, and you must have seen them. If you didn't see them, you was obviously drinking a bottle of beer. I'll tell you, there was some fierce. Well, there you go. I mean, unlike myself, I've got around. But I'll tell you what, there was tackles going in there tonight, Rich. Big tackles. So don't say there wasn't, because there was. I saw them with my own 2 eyes. And I'll tell you something else. Going on to the game tonight, that was really good for the Ipswich fans tonight. Because I'll tell you what, that was not a bad West Ham side at all. 60, 70% of that side have played regularly in the Premier League. And when you consider that, I'll tell you what, I tip me out to Kieran tonight, because I'll tell you what, he managed the game again, like I've always said about Kieran. He managed it well. I'll tell you what, I honestly think the higher up he goes up in the leagues, the better you'll see from Kieran McKenna. And I'll tell you another thing, I'd like to shout out David Moyes tonight, because I'll tell you what, he showed total respect. I repeat, total respect for Town tonight. And one thing I would like to say, why on the scoreboard do we only put Town now?
Yeah, I see that.
As opposed to Ipswich Town.
Yeah, but that goes in the whole like sort of online. You've got nicknames for players like what was it? Vaz replaces Christian. It's like just
Rack for Harper.
Just wind it in. Colin, we'll let you get home. I'm going to bring Leander in. We appreciate you
tomorrow,
coming on.
It's tomorrow, Colin.
Yes, man. Look after yourself.
Continue this Aluko chat in the morning.
There you go. We wanted to calm ourselves down there. That pillow fight was hotter than anything on OnlyFans. Good grief.
All this water over me head to cool myself down.
I absolutely will. I mean, you know.
Hang on, I'm a bit punch drunk because Colin won that, I think.
He absolutely wiped the floor of you. But I don't think anyone was expecting it in July.
I was all over the show.
Well, you weren't expecting it. You weren't ready for a heated debate like that in the middle of the job.
I did just drop a little. I was a bit annoyed. I dropped a little one in with the cone. Colin was off.
Yeah.
I love the goat. We all love the goat. You cannot. He's passionate, isn't he?
Oh, you can't question the passion, and neither should you. He's made someone subscribe. Look, it's just look. Honestly, if that is your thing, you wait until November.
Follow Cyber Leader, West Ham United FC. Follow his lead, everyone. If there's anyone watching now, and if you're going to watch it back, hit that subscribe button. We've had quite a few new subscribers today. Come on, we can do it.
And the matchday instant reaction shows, when the shit hits the fan, it does hit the fan. They're always my favourite shows. I love it.
It's going to be like in the season when Morecambe roll us over at Bournemouth Road. Fucking hell.
Positive. Leando's shaking his head. He's not agreeing with that.
I'll tell you what.
You're driving.
Can I just say, I'm listening to this debate, and all I'm going to say, Aluko was the best player on the park tonight. By a mile. By an absolute mile. And everything Colin said about him tonight is true. He made Downs look silly. He really did. So that's all I'm going to say on that one. But
all right.
I went to the Crystal Palace game last season.
All right, I'll confess that I kicked him out. I'll confess.
Oh, because he's driving.
That don't sit well with me. I worry.
Come back tomorrow night, Lee. Come back tomorrow night.
I worry. He's driving a lot. I'm worried. You know what I mean? Like, he needs to pull over. I can't sit here in good conscience and watch him drive while he's talking. That's just. I know I'm a bit over the top of my anxiety, but I love the man, but he needs to pull over. Definitely. Is that Andy back? Is that Andy on the show, or is that just Andy not turning his phone off in the VIP area? Oh, he's not turned his phone off. I was going to say, is that Andy coming on the show?
Come on, Andy, we're waiting for you. Come
on. McSauceman, the police aren't as efficient as the stewards for finding dodgy streams.
I see someone. They nabbed someone at the game tonight. It was on the socials.
Did they really?
Yeah, someone was. I don't know if he was filming or something, and they had him. They're gonna. If you're going to Bournemouth Road and you're filming it or whatever, there's cameras everywhere. I mean, what are you doing?
How does that affect people like Griffin, for example? Because he films himself, but he also films the crowd.
Alex was there tonight. I know he was there tonight. He's off to get some new merch in the shop, but I don't know. I can't answer that.
Fair enough. All right. Look, coming on the show to round up, unless Lee pulls himself over, because like I say, I would worry if he's driving and talking at the same time, is Mike Fisherman. Obviously, probably enjoyed Flynn Downs' performance today.
Yeah.
But well, he's here, but he's obviously here post a little bit of this.
Is this Mike? Is he...
Oh, we've lost it. I apologise. Mike, how are you?
He's got to turn the foot there, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got to turn a foot.
How are you, gentlemen? All right.
Yeah, we're good. Flynn Downs, Premier League. I know you don't want to talk about Flynn Downs, but what do you want to talk about? Obviously, you weren't there tonight.
I agree.
So...
I know what Mike's probably going to say. I agree with what Mike... We had a little chat before, didn't we, Mike? I agree with the Fisherman. Go.
Look, it was a good result tonight, really. I didn't watch the game. I was obviously watching as things were progressing. Let's be honest, it's friendly, so they're not going to go all guns blazing. For me, I still think we're probably 2, maybe 3 players short of a promotion winning side. Is Aluko our answer? Look, it's pre-season. Every player's fit, and I think that halfway through the season, with Luko's age and possibly injuries, I do think we need another player to sort of, decent player to come in. I know we're after that player from Leeds. I'd like him. I think we've got to, spend a bit of money to get him. I'd love Hurst to come here. I think he'd be another type of forward that would give us a little bit more dynamic style of play, and maybe another number 10. Someone other than bloody Selena.
Do you think, Mike, like Hurst? I was speaking to Wes Burns' dad this morning, and I totally agree with him. We need someone with a bit of physicality up front. Now you've got
absolutely, yeah.
And Norwood's gone, right? Joe Pigott, I wouldn't say he's physical, but he's a big unit, right? I think you need someone. It is League One after all, Mike. We're in. You can't just play pretty football all the time and expect it to work. And this is probably where Hurst is going to come in. He's a tall lad, good in the air. I think we need to have, like you've said before, we need to have more than a plan A. There's got to be a plan B and a plan C this season, because you can't just put all our eggs in the Wes Burns basket this season, because teams are going to be wise to him. Yeah, they're going to shut that side of the pitch down. So hopefully, like tonight, we got that goal that come from the left-hand side, which is quite encouraging, really. But I think we need to be adaptable this season.
I mean, I spoke to one of my mates who was at the game. He reckons we're playing well. But a pre-season friendly is, you can be more relaxed and you can be sort of, a little bit more, chilled about everything. But it's all about fitness. It's all about, someone on Twitter said that, you can't. I think Steve Beep actually said you can't have an opinion on Ipswich and West Ham, and their game. You can have an opinion, but you can't compare the two teams. There's a league between us.
Oh, it's a light year at the moment.
And another thing, Mike, West Ham, they're a week behind what we are, in their build-up. So I don't read too much in. Look, we might have played well. They're not going 100%. I'm not having their 100%. It's a friendly after all. They're not going to want to get injured. They want to get minutes under their belt, don't they? Play a bit of football. I don't read too much into these games. If I'm being, that's why I didn't go tonight, Martin. I don't really. It doesn't get the juices flowing. If I'm honest, a friend.
Fair enough, but let's go to somebody who did. He's now pulled over. Lee, you're back on. You're pulled over. My anxiety can subside. Talk to me about tonight, then, Mr. Anderson. Tell the boys here who didn't go, who didn't waste their £12.
I nearly crashed when you turned me off. I was all right until you turned me off.
Fucking don't say that. You don't say that.
Anyway, so what I was saying. So listen to the points about it being a friendly. Is it not a friendly for both teams? True. So, and just going back to the point I was trying to make, last season, I went to the Crystal Palace game, and this season obviously went tonight, and we are light years ahead of where we were this time last season. Forget about fitness, how many players we had, what the opposition were like. Us as a team, we are light years ahead of where we were this time last season, and that can only be a positive.
We weren't fit, were we, Lee? We weren't fit last season. You see them games early season under Cook, where we play well for like 45, 50 minutes, and then like Raheem Harper blowing out their arse the last half hour of the game. We didn't look fit, and I like that when you say we look a lot fitter, because we need to be this season. Yeah,
and we're just a lot stronger, and the team's got more shape to it. In my view, it was a back four. It was a back four tonight. Definitely second half. But it was interesting that El Mazzuni played right back. and Kane Vincent-Young played the right wing, or took Burns' place on the right-hand side. So that's twice now El Mazzuni's played at right back, and I thought he did all right.
He done it, didn't he?
Yeah. So I think he
Three
did okay,
times, because he did play a game towards the back end of the campaign last year at that position as well.
So
So
whether
I
or not
actually said that I think KVY is more of a winger than a defensive player anyway.
He's not recovered, Mike. He's not recovered from that the game against Bolton. That's funny that we've got them first game of the season. He got absolutely roasted that game, didn't he? And he got pulled off after.
Yeah.
I don't think he's really recovered from that. So, look, he's always been good going forward. I don't think anyone can argue with Kane Vincent-Young going forward. He's excellent. So if he does play a little bit wider, that gives us another option. And
I do think we need a shithouse up front, though. Like you say, we need a shithouse. We need a fit shithouse.
It's not the way McKenna plays. Oladapo is definitely, I think, going to be an upgrade on what we had last year in terms of what McKenna wants. A bit more athleticism up front.
How many goals, Lee? How many goals do you think he'll get this season, Oladapo? I know you've only seen him tonight.
I think the thing is we're going to play similar to how we played last season. I think it's going to be the game's going to pan out the same sort of way. So if he's
it didn't always work out though, Lee. That's what we're saying.
Yeah, if he plays all the time, then he's a 15 goaler. He seems to be there in the box, but the key is getting others in the box. He's getting others in the box with him. Because
if you look at his record over the 4 years at Rotherham, Lee, I think he's got 60 goals. So if he gets 15 goals, I'll be quite happy with that. But I think we do need other people, like your Chaplins have got to weigh in with 12. Wes Burns, Mike's favourite player, Caden Jackson. They've all got to do their bit, because if you look last season, I think we scored 67 goals, Martin. To get out of this league, you're probably going to have to be hitting 80 plus.
That's the thing when you only play one striker. The focus is more on him, isn't it? But it's a front. I suppose it's a front 4 or 5, and on ball looked decent next to Morsey. I must say that's something we've definitely missed, and that's definitely an improvement on what we had last season.
What's interesting is Ashley Bell says was a back 3 for him the whole game. Elmer's played in JD's plays, however, it's pretty fluid when we're in and out of position. So, a little bit of a different look at it from yourself there, Lee. But JD particularly, how did he play for you in that 4 that you think it was? Because obviously for me, JD traditionally going forward hasn't always been the greatest. Had good periods last year. How did he look tonight?
He didn't link up with Burns so much. He did one second half. At the start of the second half, he had that maraud and run forward. But I think it was just the way the West Ham set up, and it was getting in behind them. So I think that's so. But I mean, JD didn't put the foot wrong. He looked solid. He looked absolutely solid. So I think we're in good shape. I think Ndaba is miles behind Cameron Burgess at the moment. I think I was listening to what Lewis was saying. He settled into the game. It was actually his mistake that gave them back the ball, and they scored the second goal when he should have easily kept the ball under control. He lost the ball, bounced out in front of him. Then he let the other the attacker nip round him and get the ball on the inside. So that was his fault, I think, that led up to the passage of play for the goal. But yeah, so I think we're quite strong. But I think Burgess, if he plays, is ahead of Ndaba. I think.
Lee, obviously you watched Ndaba tonight. Do you think it was just a bit of nerves, or do you think it's just because obviously a lot of pressure come from him because he was player of the season last year, wasn't he?
That just happened. I mean, it just bobbled, and that was. Yeah. But that was the only thing he did wrong. I think he looked, he looked more assured after that. But you've got to start the game. So, and he came on. I think he came on at half time, didn't he? So it wasn't like he came on.
We're lucky, Lee, aren't we? We're lucky because we're well stocked with centre backs. We've got 5, haven't we?
Yeah, he didn't look out of place, but he's behind, because we talked about this in the season, in the close season, about whether he starts or not. But I mean, Burgess didn't put a foot wrong. I think he's just ahead of him. But Ndaba, I hope he stays around. But only 2. If JD keeps playing as they do, then 2 of those 4 are going to be sitting out. But we need everybody. We're going to need them all, aren't we? We're going to need.
We do
absolutely
need a
them all.
plan. We do need a plan B, though. We many times look. I mean, Kieran McKenna has a style of play. I get that, and there's nothing wrong with having a style of play, and you have that sort of set up how you want to play. But there was teams last year that we lost to because of that style of play. Sometimes you've got to change it up, and sometimes you've got to be a little bit more direct rather than. Fancy football is all very well in the Championship, and that can work. But in League One, you're coming up against teams that have been in non-league and League Two for say the last sort of 5 to 10 years, and then you've got clubs that are sort of settled in League One that have been in. Really, you could argue we're settled in League One as a club right now. And quite frankly, a lot of these sort of, I call them shithouse teams. They know how to win games sometimes by just playing basic football, and that's literally launching it long ball. And there's been times where we've been caught out lost games because of it.
I agree with Mike. We all want to play good football, right? And we love it. Play good football, score goals. You need more than that to get out of a league and win a league. When you don't play well, you have to win them games, dig out that 1-0 result. Think, look, we didn't play well today. We got a scrappy goal. We scored a last-minute winner or something like that. And that's what will be the difference between last season when, look, we know all them teams come, they park the bus, Mike, your Cambridges, your Morecambs, even your Oxfords. Oxford's one of the better teams in the league, Martin. And second half, I've never seen anything like it, rolling around on the floor. But we just have to figure that out this season when them teams come down here. And look, if you score an early goal in these games, guys, the game totally changes.
Yeah,
their game plan goes out the window. But the longer these games go 0-0, and then like the Cambridge game, Lee, when we played them at home, then they go and score a goal. Then they have something to hold on to, and then it gets a lot harder then. So I'm hoping this season we can figure them little puzzles out. And another thing, Lee, is beat the promoted teams. When we played them last season, we took 4 points off them out of 24. That's another thing where we can make that points difference up.
Well, that'll be different this year, I think. I think if just look at the first 10 games, there's no way that we're going to get 4 points out of the first. We're going to get more than 4 points out of the first 10 games. Will we beat Bolton? Will we beat Bolton on the first day of the season? Who knows? We might lose that. But I can sit here now from what I've seen tonight, compared to where we were this time last season, we'll have more points, definitely. There's no question.
We've got to be careful with deja vu because we had this last season. I remember having the same conversations that we're having now about last season. The first 10 games we're looking at 12 to 14 points, and that just went absolute downhill. And I just think we've got to be a little bit careful.
That was Cook.
Yeah, but but I know it's Cook.
We are light years ahead of where we were this time last season.
And it's another season on the ground. It's another season forward as well, Lee, because you've got 19 players last year. It was every so many days there was a player being signed, whereas this season, we've only signed 4, and I think there'll be another couple come in. But these players are settled, they're settled where they live. They've made relationships on the field, friendships. And I think after 10 games, it'll be a real good pointer. I think everyone watching and us on here will know where we're heading, Mike, after 10 games, I think.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think the biggest key for me is the first 10 games. Look, it's not about winning every game. It's about going out there and doing your utmost to win every game. We're not asked. Like I said, we've said it many a time. It's sometimes you can walk out of a game and think, how the hell did we lose that, and feel pissed off. But that the boys played well, and that it was just not rubber to green. And I just think that this season, the first 10 games were crucial. I do think we're 2, maybe 3 players short of a promotion winning side. And hopefully that'll all come in. And like you said, we already had a foundation this year. We had our defence sorted. And I think as a Town fan, I'm a lot more optimistic this year than I was last.
Okay, perfect. I'm melting here. So, Lee, final point. I'll bring Dave in.
Yeah, final point, then I'll go. Obviously, Piggott weren't there tonight. I don't know if Piggott signed for someone else now. I haven't seen that, but he was
close to it apparently.
Yeah, we need another. We do need another striker. We do need another. We do need another striker.
Just a striker, Lee, or do you think we need more?
Pardon?
Just a striker, or would you add any more?
Well, I think at the moment we've lost Selena, haven't we? So if he comes back, I don't know, but we haven't placed him in the squad. I think JJ looked okay and would look. I think he might be the answer on the left, or give us a little bit more balance there with Edwards and that perhaps. So I think we're just looking for another player to integrate and swap around with Aluko and Chaplin. I think.
What about Humphreys? Quickly, what about Cameron Humphreys? Could he do that?
Good shout. Good shout.
He can come on and run around for 10, 15 minutes, but you notice the game when he comes on, that he's not quite at that level of Chaplin and that yet. But if he doesn't play, he's not going to get better. But I think we need to bring someone else in. I don't think Humphreys is the answer this season.
Perfect. Lee, thank you ever so much for your point. Come back to us soon. Andrew, Mike, love you both. Thanks ever so much, Lee. I really appreciate it. Dave, how did John Jules play for you today? Hello, Dave. Bye, Dave.
He's frozen.
Poor Dave. Poor Dave. I'll fill the gap and see if he comes back. If he doesn't, we'll close the show in just a second. Matthew Dow would imagine if we're allowing Pickett to go, surely there's a striker in the pipeline. This is Ashton.
That's a really good point, because you think Portsmouth are after Hurst, Martin, but obviously we've got more finances than they have, so they get Joe Piggott, and maybe we get George Hurst.
Potentially so. That's what I said on last night's show. Could it be the three people getting together and saying, right, you all need to sort this out. How does it work for each other? Ashley Bell didn't see Ashton, Luke, or O'Leary in the director's box tonight. Sat right next to it, did Ashley Bell. There you go. So maybe there's big deals being done. Phone calls being made. Who knows? Shane Long's available, says Jason Clayton.
Yeah, he is. I see he's been released, but not for me.
No, but Andreas Weimann a month ago was
Weimann better player than Shane Long.
Shane Long.
Yeah. Shane Long's, he's been on the wane for the last 2 or 3 years. Weimann's just got 22 goals, Martin.
Where is Shane Long being released from?
Was he at Southampton? I think.
He weren't
really playing a lot, was he? I don't think he'd drop down to League One.
No, but being on the way in the Premier League is surely better than being an older player that's still performing in the Championship.
I want someone who's been playing regular.
Okay. All right.
We wouldn't get anyway. They wouldn't be coming to League One.
No. Talking of playing regularly, obviously John Jules was mentioned there. Louis Barry's gone to MK Dons. Is that a shrewd signing by Milton Keynes?
I'll send it to you tonight. When I see it, it made me smile. But he was... Hopefully, Tyrese John Jules is not the Louis Barry this season.
Hopefully, he won't win the Louis Barry Award, no.
But look, when he signed and he came in, he had the Barcelona link, and we were all thinking, oh, yeah, this Louis Barry, yeah, what a kid he is. I'd seen him at Villa. He'd scored that goal in the FA Cup against Liverpool, and it didn't work out. There was probably too much traffic in front of him, and was he just one of them signings, Martin, who thought, yeah, we'll take a bit of a punt on him. It might work out, it might not. But then he went to Swindon, and he'd done quite well at Swindon. But
so Tyrese Simpson, who is still here, by the way. He is still here.
Well, no one's really sort of speaking.
I mean, he's still a town player technically. I don't think he's been training. I don't know though.
I would be surprised if he was here come the end of the window.
Oh, so would I. But there's but the more you move on through a window, either the more the lower the value you've placed on him gets, or clubs just fill up their options. For example, Portsmouth, they go and get Peterborough can't stick around forever. It comes a point. But Dave, are you back?
Am I? Can you hear me now?
You are, Dave.
Hey,
good man.
I don't think I've got a very good signal. That's why.
That's all right. Well, we'll make it quick. We'll make it short, sharp, and to the point, and top quality. How was tonight from your perspective?
Well, like you guys, I don't normally do pre-season friendlies, but I did this one, and I stood at the Bobby Robson statue with like Jimmy No Mates, waiting for you guys to turn up.
Well, to be fair, Dave,
you not get the email. Did not send the email out, Gov.
No, but to be fair, you still would, even if I was there, you would have been on your own, because it's the Sir Ralph statue we meet at, not the Sir Bobby.
Oh yeah, good point. Good point. Yeah, okay. I was at the right statue though.
So okay, good. I'm sorry I wasn't there. I promise you, I'll make it up to you. Tease on me next time we speak. Right. John Jules has been asked in the chat how he played. Obviously, we want him to be much better than Louis Barry was last year. How did he perform for you today, Tyrese John Jules?
flashes of good, I suppose. Not enough to rate him yet, and but it's a pre-season game, innit? They don't really mean anything. I'll tell you who did really stand out for me, particularly. Well, he was only on for the first half. Was Don Ball? He looked really good.
He's the one,
for a
Dave.
freebie.
I think he's going to be a massive player. I really do.
Really, really good on the ball, class. West Ham didn't look that special, to be honest. But then they just had that bit of class in front of goal, I suppose, where we didn't. I knew when Lepardo went through, he was going to either sky it or hit the post. That was kind of written in the stars, being an Ipswich player. But you know,
there's bad vibes with that as well, because we played West Ham in a friendly under Paul Hurst, and I want to say Ellington, but it wasn't. It was Bristol Rovers striker. Name escapes me.
Ellis Harrison.
Ellis Harrington, that's it. He hit the post with a header as well. So, and then that year we got relegated. Not saying we're going to get relegated.
Everyone was raving about that game, Martin. It was the Nydam, Dazelle, Downs, Wolfie. They all played, and everyone's like, "Yeah, this is going to be a great season." Look how that ended.
So there's a bad omen there, but hopefully that won't be the case.
Downs got off to a good start by fouling Sone Aluko in the first couple of minutes, so that didn't go well for him. No,
we have covered Sonny Aluko, I think, to death this evening. But how did he play for you?
He was all right, yeah. Yeah. Again, it's hard to judge on a pre-season, isn't it? Really, yeah. I think the standout players for me tonight were Don Ball, Wolfenden, and in the second half, I thought Greg Lee looked good. Penny wasn't that good in the first half, but we're kind of used to that, aren't we? I am a bit concerned about the left back situation. We really need to get another left back in the door. I think we need another cam and another striker. Whether we get them before the season starts or not, I don't know.
Okay.
I was happy. I don't know if it's been mentioned yet. I was happy to see the Fisherman enter the pitch towards the end of the game.
What did you make of that in the stands? What was your reaction, the general reaction to that?
It can't have been a Town fan, can it? Because you wouldn't go and get yourself banned from the stadium.
Where did he come on from, Dave? What stand did he come out of?
I didn't see, but I think he came out of the North stand.
Well, it wouldn't be the Fisherman because he don't go to games, Dave. So there you go.
Oh well,
leave him alone. He's still licking his wounds. I'm a Flynn Downs, been a Premier League player. Leave him alone.
He was trying to get him Flynn.
No, he's just dancing on the pitch.
Mate. Never played in the Premier League.
Dave, we'll wait and see if we bring those players in that you think we need. Yeah. But as things stand right now, July 30th against Bolton, is 3 points coming our way, or are we still a little bit undercooked?
No. Okay, I'm not getting any hopes up this season because hope's always spell disaster for me. We're experts at snatching defeat from the jaws of victory, aren't we, as Ipswich fans? But I think 3 points against Bolton, 3-0 or 3-1 win. But yeah, as for the season, we say it every year, we've got to go up this season. But are we going to? I don't know.
And it'd be amiss of me not to ask you, obviously, lots of talk before the game about his debut, but the dugout, how did it look tonight?
Well, it hasn't got a roof on it, so that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, but I think it's set in the stand, so the stand roof will cover up from the...
There was no roof last season, was there?
Yeah, no, wasn't there?
No, there wasn't.
No, there's not been a roof on the dugouts for years.
It shows why I know then, doesn't it?
But did he look good? Or did it look good?
Oh yeah, it looks classy. It does, yeah.
There you go. Perfect. Dave, safe travels or have a nice evening, whatever it is, wherever you are going. Thank you for popping on this evening.
I'm going home to feed my spiders.
Up the spiders.
Suffolk Spiders.
The shop is incoming, and my town shirt's going to have Suffolk Spiders and number 8 on the back.
There you go.
Like it. All right, Dave. Suffolk Spiders for your tarantula needs. Check it out. Right, we're done. We're back tomorrow at 8:30. Myself, Lewis, and I don't know who, but we'll discuss
the milk tray man Ben Adams.
Do you think?
Well, he was. It's on the thumbnail.
Is it? I've already written it. Brilliant. Yeah. So milk tray man Ben Adams, Lewis Robertson, and I've written down so far talking points. Plan B. What is it? Stand-up performance from last night or tonight currently. Undercooked. How many do they think we need to be bringing in?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. and you're probably not. We're not undercooked sitting in front of this screen.
Fucking am I, know, man.
Martin was worried, everybody, that what can we talk about? We've done 55 minutes.
Oh, mate, this every time I start a show with, is it going to last more than 10 minutes? Bang, we knock one out. But that's not a good. Don't clip that up. No context. Have a great day with that one. So if you've got anything you want to talk about tomorrow, get it in the comments or on the community page or on our Twitter. We'll get it on the show as we did with Michael's question on Monday. But until then, hit subscribe.
That was a great question. That was a great question from Michael.
It was. It got a lot of people sort of, get flummoxed, really,
I'll say Luke Wolfenden for me.
Yeah. I mean,
Wes Burns, his age is a bit against him, It
is.
Whereas Wolfie's young. Wolfie's good. Look, Wolfie's only going to get better, Martin. And I said on Sunday's show, it's vitally important this season that we get out of this league because our better players are not going to hang around forever. They want to look. Wolfenden come through the academy at Town through and through, but he wants to progress his career. He's looking at his mate, who he played in the academy with, Flynn Downs, and he's thinking he's going to be
there.
He's going to be playing against Arsenal. He's going to play against Man City. I want a bit of that. So, vital this season. Hit the ground running. 30th of July. Be up there all season. Out of this league, into the Championship, and then we can start spending some proper dosh.
There we go. And if you don't know what we're talking about, check back Monday's show. It is all on there. But the season is ever so close. Another friendly in the bank. Until tomorrow, don't melt too much. Ipswich Buses, your local bus company. Don't get stuck in traffic. Ditch the car. Go green. Go contactless. Go Ipswich Buses. Fares available from £2.20 return, a fantastic price and a fantastic service. Ipswich Buses, proud to partner with Talking Town.
You make me smile when I think of you. If I am down low and I am blue, I can't get enough. Oh, yes, lover. You make me happy, I feel so fine. Oh, how I wish that you were mine. I can't get enough. Oh, yes, lover. I woke up all soaked in sweat, with chills running down my neck. I thought went crazy from just the thought of you.